Someone has brought some rollers in to see if we can put new bearings in them. I think they said they were off of a lawnmower. I'm kind of wondering whether this is going to be worth doing, or whether they can't get complete new rollers. And they've been working like this, I guess. Must have been for quite a good few years, because the original bearings have just completely disintegrated, worn out. There are no balls left in them. There are ball races inside this, but yeah, no balls left inside. That looks like that's just been running on the ground. Same at the other end. And the insides, well, we've got 3 of these rollers, and one of them was brought in, and they've managed to actually take the nut off the other end so we could pull this out. I've actually since taken the inner race off, which went there, and this race it's just worn. There was no balls inside, but this race is worn. The shaft is properly worn out. The other end similar, not quite so bad. The bearing's actually fitted in an aluminium bush. It's quite a thin wall tube. There's an aluminium part inside it, and the bearing is inside that. And it almost looks like it's the aluminium which is worn away along with the part of the shaft here. Shocking. It must have been running for, I don't know, years, decades or something like that. And just running along like a really sloppy plain bearing. If we take this one apart, and this wear on here was at least useful in being able to grab hold of this so that we could put a spanner on the other end and undo them. They were really, really tight. They're okay now, but they had Loctite holding them on. And even that, this is worn out as well. There was a seal in here. We've got some new seals to put in this thing. Kind of wonder why you would bother, because the bearings are sealed as well. It's supposed to go like that inside the tube. I think that fits in part of the aluminium as well. And we've managed to, I don't know if we've done this or the customer's done this, or just general handling or just general beating up in use, but the end of the tube is kind of swaged in. If we have a look at this one, let's take the shaft out. The other end equally worn out here. This part that the seal is supposed to run on, well, that's going to be useless, isn't it? That's just not going to work. So I don't know whether we shall even bother putting the seals in. But we've got to get the old ones out first. This tube has got, well, apart from a load of muck, dirt, whatever, it's got the remains of the seal in it. The tube has got a split, and inside the seal is the inner race of the original bearing, and we've got to try and get that out somehow. Same at that end. So this one, I've managed to turn this out, turn the remains of the seal out, and seals are just a pressing, aren't they? A shell, so not super tough, so that was not too bad getting that out. But then the remains of the bearing, and the customer, when he brought it in, said, "Oh, can you not put it in the lathe and turn it out?" And I thought, yeah, right, it's a hardened steel bearing race. Well, we actually managed it. So we're going to have a go at doing the other end first on this one, and hopefully it'll we can get rid of that as well, and then we'll have a go at the other two. So I'm holding it in the Burnerd Multisize collet. It's just under 50mm, this tube on the OD. You can see some swarf that came out the other end. So first off, we'll just clean up the inside of the end of the tube, where it's got a bit burred over. It would be nice to knock that back out, but I think we'll just trim that off. Running pretty slow because of turning the ball race. Don't need to be going this slow for this part. Just see if we can clean this up. Quite concentric. It shouldn't make any difference if I turn the tube around in the collet, because these collets are really pretty good. We'll just check that. I don't want it to be too small for the seal, even though I was not entirely sure that we're going to be putting the seals back. 44, 54, okay. The seal actually measures 44/60, so we're close on that. Little bit, just clean out the rough bit. That's about the limit, I think. Yeah, I think that'll be okay. The tube doesn't look good. That looks like that's properly burred over there, and yet the tool is going past that without touching it. So I think I'll put a little chamfer in there anyway. That's ever so slightly shorter now. I can't imagine that's gonna matter. It still feels like that's burred over, smaller than the diameter of the register where the seal goes. Well, it still looks rough, but I think that will do. So, let's have a go at the actual bearing now. There's a bit of wear on this tip, so we might have to change it. But it might just start okay. Yep, that is pretty hard going, as you would expect. Trying to turn a ball bearing's outer race. That is, yeah, not really doing much. Try a smaller cut. So we've just about come across that part and broken into the groove. This might take a while, and I may well have to change the tip. I think I will have to. I'm just going to set a stop on the bed so that I don't go in too far and start carving out the aluminium bush that's inside there. Nasty crunchy noises going on there. Not sure what that was about. The tip of the... Oh, that is hot. That is proper hot. Well, the tip is broken, but it's still got like an edge which is cutting. Let's have another go. Going on there, you think. I'm not sure whether bearing races are totally through hardened or whether they are harder on the surface, not quite so bad in the core. This has been pretty tough all the way through, but I'm wondering now if, as we're getting to the outer edge, outer surfaces of what was the original race, whether we're getting into harder steel, or is it just the fact that the tip of the tool has gone, which it most certainly has, but it does still seem to be doing something. Oh, that's getting a bit warm. I think maybe I'll change the tip. Well, I'll just turn the tip around using the other end. And that kind of sounded like we were breaking the edge of the remains of the bearing away. Well, the OD of the new one is 42. Oh, that's bigger, 42 and a half. That is just such a thin skin in there now. Obviously the tip, oh look, it's a bearing breaking off. So yeah, the broken tip was obviously not cutting such a large diameter as an intact one. So coming in at the same setting as I had been using, I've cut a bit more out of diameter. Let's try again. That's pretty good. Well, that's the bearing out of the other end of this shaft done. Just 2 bearings in each of the other shafts to do now. But it's doable. I didn't think you'd be able to turn out a hardened bearing race. But yeah, slow and steady, it's done the job. Right, another one bites the dust. pushing the job back in the collet. Oh, and that is hot. That was the tip done.